It's another episode of your favorite podcast, your favorite heavy metal, hard rock and roll podcast from New England. It's the Honeycomb Hideout. It's 7 o'clock. We're on time. It's every hump day, 7 p.m.
Wednesday, let us.
We're here.
It's 7:10. We're late.
For real?
Yeah.
We're not late. Everyone's
We're
early.
fashionably late.
Everyone's
Okay.
early. We're on time. Everyone was
which
early.
in this business, yeah, it does mean on time.
What time's load in?
It was at 5.
Oh shit.
Oh my god!
That's so typical of
I thought it was
Classic
at 3.
metal band.
yeah.
I thought it was at 3.
So I put out this post with Melissa a couple days ago, and we were like, we really believe strongly that the top, highest quality, most popular, and successful hard rock and heavy metal bands in New England should be booking shows together.
Yeah.
100%.
At least
One.
at least a show. I think the biggest, most successful bands in New England, in the whole region, I think, and that's true to whatever genre and bands that can work with each other productively, effectively. I do believe that if you're in one of the biggest and best death metal bands in New England, you should be booking bands with other death metal bands that are mutually invested. I think that if you are in a female-fronted hard rock band, I think that you should absolutely be collaborating with other top quality invested female fronted bands in New England. I think if you're in power metal, you should be working right next to the top players in your community. New metal, hard rock, rock and roll, if you're into screaming and distorted vocals, you should be working with other bands that do the same thing. And you should be working with the biggest and most popular bands in the region. Why aren't we doing that? We should be doing it. Like, I don't know who would be considered the top 30 hard rock metal bands in New England. Let's pretend that we know who they are. Ready? Everybody think of them. Let's get them in your head. Think of the top 30 hard rock and metal bands that are the most popular and most successful in New England. Who are they?
Godsmack.
I mean, that's really successful. I meant like realistically successful. Like right now, this moment. Like Aerosmith has been successful, yes. Godsmack has been successful, sure. So Adam Sandler's been successful, and there's been other people in New Hampshire, in New England, Sarah Silverman. All right, fuck them. Now, disregarding them, Killswitch Engage. I know that's a big.
I was gonna say Dead by Wednesday.
That's more realistically what I was talking about.
I was gonna
I was
say Dead
thinking
by
4 years
Wednesday.
strong.
When I was thinking of the top New England metal bands, no disrespect, but I was going to exclude Killswitch Engage because they don't work with New England bands. No disrespect, but they're not. I don't believe at this time that they're excited to come break bread with small bands in the community. You know, I meant people that are, still on their career climb. A lot of these guys, let's face it, they get to their career climb that's where they've been trying to get their whole life. They're not trying to come back and play at the bungalow,
Right.
Not normally. They've been waiting their whole lives to be done with that. So, no disrespect to the. But what I'm saying is, I'm in no rush to go play the Palladium.
Right.
I'm not. I for the
shit.
for bands that have never played the Palladium, that's probably.
Wait, you're in no rush to play the Palladium upstairs or downstairs?
I meant upstairs.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I'd love to get downstairs.
No, I play downstairs, but we've played upstairs plenty.
I was gonna say, I've done my share there. Not to say that I wouldn't like to go back, but it's
Maybe I never anything with a great deal under the right circumstances with the right bands. It's just a room,
right. But I don't want to take out a second mortgage on my house buying tickets to play there.
I was just about to say, I don't believe in a business where the celebrity is the venue. I don't believe that the venue's performing. We have this new music industry where the venue has the fans, and then the musicians sit outside. That's a different type of music industry for me. I didn't join that one.
No.
I'm all set with that.
But let's just in our minds, and if you're not from New England, let's play in your own region, in your mind. Try to play this out in your own mind. Can you even name 10 bands that are successful on their career climb? Can you name 10 or 15 or 20 bands in your own region that would be worthy to be called the most successful or the top successful? When we search for the top successful bands on Google, we don't have a problem with it. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they don't have a problem mentioning their top. The Grammys, they don't have a problem mentioning their top. New England Music Awards, they don't have a problem mentioning who their top musicians are. So why do we have a problem talking about it? Who's the top hard rock and heavy metal musicians in New England? Who are the most successful bands? Are there 20? And if there are, who are they? Let's count the top 20 most successful bands in New England. Why aren't they playing shows regularly together? In combination. I mean, they don't all have to be friends. I'm not saying they all got to go and hang out and have birthday parties. Why aren't they prioritizing the fan base?
Because of ego.
Because of ego.
Might be because of their ego.
Well, I mean, in New England, it's no secret most metal musicians, especially if you're getting into death metal and prog and all that, are elitist pricks.
Oh.
So.
Well, I think that all people with a lot of talent have that ability. I think a lot of people that have been given the gift of talent and attention, and people that have been given the floor, including myself, I think we all have the opportunity. We're all put in a place where, due to the intensity of our respect, sometimes it's safe to say that all of us have artists. We can kind of overshoot our own fame sometimes, our own glory. I know that I've been certainly guilty of that in the past, or thinking I can stay up all night, or thinking I can screw off or not practice, or there's certainly been well over 1,000 times that I've been over ambitious in a live feed or on a microphone, and people have pointed out that I've said unattractive things or done unattractive things, as a result of being a live entertainer. So it's definitely a hard one to nail down because nobody ever wants to admit it.
Yeah.
I'm a New England artist. I just admitted doing all of that. But when's the last time, you know what I mean? When's the last time that you really hear anybody sit there and say, hey, I make mistakes all the time, and I'm in the position to mistreat this privilege a lot, and without my general awareness, I might just do that. without the general awareness of the responsibility that we all play here. I mean, somebody said to me the other day in a comment section, they were watching this podcast, and they said, you know what? Will, I don't care for what you have to say because I used to get stoned and ramble in my basement too. He was making an illustration that I was rambling on the podcast. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I get stoned and I do a lot of rambling in the basement. And you could do it too. He's absolutely right. So the comment was, I get stoned and ramble in my basement too. And he's right. Instead, he's probably getting stoned and he's rambling in my comment section. And that's the big difference. You're absolutely right about the rambling part. And I've worked my whole life to ramble and get paid for it. And he could do the same thing. He's absolutely right. You could make a Facebook page and you could invest your entire life in music, and you could go to seminars and lectures and read books and YouTubes and collect literature and sit around with your friends and spend a lot of money on it and travel and practice every day. And you too could have a Facebook page and put up a couple ads and make a logo and set up a microphone in your basement and ramble. The difference is I've dedicated my whole life to it. And you guys are still in the comment sections. So, if you don't like what we have to say here, I understand, because we do talk about strong topics at times. But my advice to you is to turn it the fuck off and find something else to do. If you don't like the content on this page, go create a Facebook page of your own and rub it on your fucking chest.
But if you do like what we have to say, don't forget to like and subscribe.
We got to get into this Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the history of Valentine's Day.
Valentine's?
You're messing with me.
Valentine for you to
Zach
learn
was
to
the
read.
kid in school that said Valentine's. You know how there's those kids that you grew up with in school that change the names and the words and the letters on everything to make it sound crazy in school? He did that, and he used to call it Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's because to get a reaction out of people. Because without failure, every time you say Valentine's Day, there's like 40 kids that would jump down your throat. It's pronounced Valentine's Day! You fucking tard!
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
You sound just like that.
Why, did you have to deal with that? Let me find out.
See, when I went to school, that was before, calling somebody,
Mean
retard.
names.
Yeah, you weren't, that was kosher back then. Now it's
When I
frowned
went to
upon.
school, they encouraged you to abuse each other. All right. And Valentine's Day is I'm going to call it times, just to see how many people I can... Valentine's Day is a holiday celebrated on February 14th. It falls... Well, today it falls on a Wednesday. Today!
So coincidental.
But we know it as a day where we give each other gifts and flowers and chocolate. And like most American holidays, is a wonderful way to stimulate the economy.
Hallmark holiday.
But who is this mysterious saint? Who is the Saint of Valentine? I'll have you. We're going to find out about the meaning and history of Valentine's Day. Okay. So, the history of Valentine's is a story of a saint, and it's really shrouded.
Valentine's Day, a holiday with ancient roots.
Whoa.
Didn't know we were doing all that.
I didn't either. That's good.
I thought you were going to read something.
I was. I didn't know that was going to happen.
It's got ancient
good.
roots.
Jesus. Oh, man.
Don't get him involved.
So,
Everyone's saying Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
times. Valentine's. We're going to learn about it right now. So, from February 13th to the 15th, the Romans celebrated the feast of Lupercalia.
Lupercalia.
How you say it?
Lupercalia.
Sure. The men sacrificed a goat and a dog and then whipped women with the hides of the animals they had slain. The Roman romantics would get drunk and beat the women with animal skins. What? That's what I'm trying to tell.
What a holiday!
I'm just telling you. This is the history.
This is awful.
I'm just telling you the history. Most of our holidays that we have in America are Roman holidays. I hate to break your balls. Let's not anybody take this personal. It's okay. We're gonna get through this together.
Internet support
I've
group.
never. Yo, Zach just broke out too. Like that was crazy. Like so. They were naked, and now religious studies at Professional of Yale explained in a lecture in 2011 that the young women would be lined up for men to hit them, that they believed that would make them fertile.
So wait, who was naked when they did the hitting? The men
All
were...
of them.
Sounds kind of sexy.
But this is, I mean, let's go on. Let's go on. The brutal feat included a matchmaking lottery in which young men drew the names. This is where the notes come from. The brutal activity included a matchmaking lottery in which young men drew the names of women from a jar. The couple would then be coupled up for the duration of the festival or longer if the match was right.
Wait, so they were beaten?
So, let's some key points. The earliest version of Valentine's Day festival included an activity where they slaughtered goats and dogs in the name of God and then ripped the animal parts from the dead animals and beat the shit out of naked women and then sold the women in lotteries. Yes.
I was going to say, an act today known as 7 Minutes in Heaven? Like...
Tinder. The ancient Romans were responsible for the names of our modern day love. Emperor Claudius II executed 2 men, both named Valentine. So there were several men thought to be the name Valentine. So there is one popular idea that there was a Saint Valentine, but there's still a lot of myth shrouded in the name Valentine because there were thought to be more than one. And each of them were martyred. Just something. Both. Claudius II executed the 2 men, both named Valentine, on February 14th, of different years in the 3rd century. The martyrdom was honored by the Catholic Church in celebration of Saint Valentine's Day. Okay? Later, the Pope muddled things in the 5th century by combining St. Valentine's Day with the celebration of Lupercalia to expel the pagan rituals associated with the naked beatings. But the festival was more of a theatrical interpretation than it had once been. It was a little more of a drunken revel, but the Christians had put clothes back on it. But that didn't stop it from being the day of fertility and love. Around the same time, there was another group of people who celebrated Galatins Day. And Galatin means lover of women. That likely confused and mingled with the St. Valentine's Day rituals, and at some point, in part, because they both were alike. As the years went on, the holiday grew sweeter. Shakespeare romanticized it and its work and gained the popularity throughout Britain and the rest of Europe. Handmade paper cards became the tokens in the Middle Ages. And I'm going to do a side note here, something I know of. That became popular because they were moving the technology into printing machines and stamps. And in order to make printing machines and stamps popular, they made homemade cards accessible for people. Eventually, the tradition made its way to the New World. The Industrial Revolution ushered in factory-made cards in the 19th century, and in 1913, Hallmark cards of Kansas began mass-producing Valentine cards. Today, the holiday is associated with capitalism and big business. But that commercialization has spoiled the day for many. I thought maybe the naked beatings would have done it for me, but the celebration of Valentine's Day goes on in varied ways. Many will break the bank by buying jewelry and flowers for their beloved, and some will celebrate in the Singles Awareness Day. I guess some people are calling the Single Awareness Day now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they've been calling it that for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, many years.
Well, that's just sad.
In fact, I think I remember.
Well, that's just sad.
To it.
No, that's just sad. Singles Awareness Day.
That was great.
Sad.
Get it? That was great.
I'm a dad. Don't be sad. There you go. That's all I got. Another Roman holiday.
It's another.
What do you guys think of that? I mean, is there anything?
A lot of those.
Roman holidays? Or
The fact that this was all funded off of beating women.
Well, it wasn't funded. What
Right.
funded
Not
it was the
funded,
church.
But right, the church.
It's the
The Catholic Church.
right. You got to remember that's why what I think is interesting is that we came to America. We, like European folks, come to America to escape Rome.
And here we are celebrating.
and then we turned it into a capitalist holiday.
But specifically, most people don't know that the Puritans came here
We didn't.
Nicole says it's her birthday.
today.
Happy
Birthday! Heck yeah!
Nicole, I'm not going to make the joke I was going to make. It was a Valentine's Day joke, but there's nothing funny about it now that we know about it.
Right.
Mm.
Precisely.
I'm still lighthearted on this, you realize. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Happy birthday.
Nicole's 22 again. All Swarmies are 22 forever.
Even me?
Yeah.
You're 22. Are you feeling
That's all I had on that
22?
one, though.
No.
No, you're not
So-
feeling 22.
And I'll never understand this because why does the modern day, why does the entire globe romanticize money so much? Anyways, what is our deal with the love affair with money? Because if most people will agree that simply having money doesn't make you happy.
No, but I've found that it does make you attractive.
To the wrong type of people.
What?
It's an old,
No, but there is a little bit of truth to that. It makes you attractive to criminals.
Yeah.
And, beggars and
Gold diggers. And...
Right, that's what I was going to say. Like, everybody wants to be... famous or be a millionaire or be viral. But like, what's really good about being viral and having a lot of money? It just seems like a lot of people would bother you, doesn't it? So people can have a lot of money and still be unhappy. So then why do we have a total fetish with money, and people will claim that, well, it's because you needed to survive. But if that's the case, then why aren't we selling survival? Why doesn't our behavior, why don't the things we do, in the name of, making music, if you're over 15 and you make music, and you don't say to your American neighbors that you do it for money, you'll get laughed at. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's a double-edged sword, because if you say you're doing it for money, then everyone's going to criticize you, saying, "Oh, you're just doing it for the money. Shouldn't you be doing it for the passion?"
Wow, you make a really strong point. I don't know who. I guess you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't in that one, because most people that I've talked to have this, get a real job kind of mentality.
Yeah,
but when you think about what is a job and why do you have a get a real job mentality, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a trash man or a roofer.
No, especially now where there are union positions that pay minimum of $30 an hour plus health insurance and retirement.
But, I guess there might be some people in the world that would look down at a trash man, But there are just as many people that will look down on a musician.
Yeah.
And I guess, it's interesting when you think about what a job really is, because in most cases, when you describe a job, for most people, it seems like activities that humans wouldn't do unless you gave them something for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an incentive.
That's what a job seems like to me. An activity so fucking horrible and so miserable that nobody in the species would even think about doing it unless you gave them money.
Mm-hmm.
And what is money for? Money's not for survival. It's for luxury.
And even then, you would need to add more of an incentive, because after a while, they're like, okay, I have money, but I don't have this.
People don't work for survival. They work for luxury.
Mm-hmm, for
because
benefits.
Because if you ask people why they work...
Or they're being forced to.
Or they're being forced to.
Yeah.
Well, then that almost goes into that I'm working to survive
right
mentality a little bit, which I can kind of justify that, my brother. Like, if you're hunting because you have to eat, then I guess myself, I could, in my opinion, I can justify that a little bit more than just making music for money. Because there was a time, because there is a lot more value in music than just an economy. This is the only place in the world where mostly everything is prioritized by the way we communicate about it in economic terms. Most things, you're the hero for doing it, or you are demonized for being driven if money's involved. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bill? 100?
My favorite.
Is it all about the Benjamins for you? What's your favorite bill?
I mean, yeah, I guess it would be about the Benjis, because I don't get them that often.
Everybody in the chat, write down your favorite paper money bill. Mine is the 20. Andrew Jackson. I'm a 90s guy. See, in the 90s, you could buy almost anything with $20.
I remember getting a $20 bill, like, when I was a kid, as like on my birthday and stuff, when they'd hand out 20s, and it's just like, you just knew.
You get a 6-pack, get a dime bag full of weed, and you get a cab up the street.
When I was a kid, I got $20 a week for my allowance, and it usually lasted me the entire week. And I would go out and I could buy, fries at the local pizza shop and
And like 20s were
soda
great
and
because there's
candy.
5 in 100. So it's like,
Yeah,
so if you got 100, you bust it down into 20s, and now you really got to.
right. Because back when even when I was a teenager, this was only, 10, 12 years ago, was, me and my friends could go out on a Friday night and only end up spending $5-6.
Lexi's
Each.
like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, going out getting
Yeah, like
sodas,
that. Like, Lexi,
chilling at the mall.
for you to have fun, in your age group, you got to spend like $300 now. For like the shit we used to do for $75, I ain't playing. Like we used to have a good night for $100. The whole team could split that. Everyone could go out to eat.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
Oh, those are the.
Then I found out, of course, I didn't really know about the images on the money. Like
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Dead
I was just
presidents.
about to ask you guys if you guys knew why Andrew Jackson was on the $20.
I
bill.
don't. And I think Benjamin Franklin is the only person that is a president that's not a non-president that's on the bill.
Yep.
Read us some history about
Andrew
the $20
Jackson.
bill, so we can understand our love affair with money in America.
Andrew Jackson's on the $20 bill. He was a president of the United States, and he is known for signing the Indian Treaty and Removal Act of 1830. For those of you that don't know what an Indian Treaty and Removal Act of 1830 is that is when they forced Indian tribes, such as the Cherokees, for example, to leave their homeland and go west, thus creating what people might have learned in school called the Trail of Tears, where they would go on the Trail of Tears going west, and tons of them would get diseases
And cry.
and cry and get diseases and die.
Because when you get diseases and you're migrated out of your home, you fucking cry about it because it hurts your feelings. It's sad when people steal and take your shit.
Yeah. And forcibly remove you from your homeland into a place that you don't know.
Didn't Andrew Jackson also raise, before he was president, he raised up like a volunteer army to also slaughter like an entire Indian nation?
Yes, and for those that don't like it, there's good record and receipt of that today. This isn't like the Mayan temples.
Right.
This good record and receipt of his journals, and if you ever care to read over that, it's some pretty scary stuff. It's Jeepers Creepers horror movie shit.
Oh, yeah, it was a bloodbath.
Oh.
So there you go.
So that is
Thank
why
you.
he is on the $20 bill.
So
Might look
in
at
terms
it
of
twice.
romance and love, Mechanical Licensing Collective files suit against Pandora over unpaid mechanical royalties.
Oh.
I mean, if you're a musician out there, I'm sure you're on Pandora, because it's like, well, you know how it is now. It's all like just stockpiling. Anybody can be on Pandora. You know what I mean? Like your mom can be on Pandora. Anybody. Literally anybody.
Even bands that are no longer a band are on Pandora being played.
Yeah, she got a good point. Right, bands have been like annexed.
For like 13 years are still on Pandora.
So it makes, it's no surprise to me that they would still be having issues. Can we see if the same company still owns Sirius XM?
So, looking up.
Yeah, let's look it up for a minute. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are now TikTok official, Zach.
They're TikTok official.
Yes.
Is that like Facebook official, or Is that some?
Did you hear about this, Melissa? It's Valentine's Day.
Is it only because he won the Super Bowl? Because I heard she was going to break up with him if they lost.
That's
And then-
brutal.
Yeah,
Because she needs content
rumors.
for her next album.
Do me a favor and can you kick that door closed for the fire alarm's going to go off? Like fully closed. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So the company that owns Sirius XM
Mm-hmm.
is Liberty Media Group.
Are they the same ones that own Pandora still?
Yep. Liberty Music Group comprises ownership in Sirius XM and Pandora.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that my music...
As of October 31st of last year.
Right. You see how much of a music nerd I actually really am? Look at that. I knew that off the top of my mind.
It's awesome.
Wild.
You know your shit.
So yeah, and put a 1 in the chat if you knew. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that XM Radio and Pandora were owned by the same crooked ass fucked up company. You didn't, because I told you. And now, if you're a musician, you're glad, because now you can go do the homework and see how fucked up they really are. So if you ever wanted to know...
You got a 1.
Really? God bless you. So, like, if you're one of those people who ever want to know, because there's, like, a lot of people that are in the independent scene are like, why can't I get my band on XM Radio? You can. You're on Pandora.
That's XM
What
Radio.
do you fucking do? Hey, how can I get in touch with the guys at XM Radio? I just told you who their boss is.
Go look them up.
Nobody cares that Taylor Swift and Travis are now...
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
TikTok official. Like, is that like...
I'm just going with it. People just send us this stuff. Let's do it again. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are now TikTok official. Does anybody give a fucking shit? All right.
No, I don't know of anybody else.
And did you see? You didn't see? That Taylor, not Corey Taylor, Taylor.
You just got 500 stars from Chad.
Oh
Chad.
my gosh, Chad!
Happy fucking Valentine's Day.
Love.
Okay. So, I told you we were going to do an update on this. Has anybody bought is that a word? Has anybody purchased an Apple Vision Pro? You've got to be out of your goddamn mind. And don't lie if you have. If you truly are out of your mind,
Now's the time to let
say it.
us know.
Put it on the table. I want to know I want to know the craziest motherfucker in the chat. Because whoever bought this thing for $3,000 is fucking nuts.
A lot of moolah.
Bro, if you got $3,000 to burn on a video game, like it's definitely. I'm gonna tell you this much: there is not a musician on the fucking planet that owns one of these things.
I was gonna say, if I had that kind of money, I'd be riding first class to Rockfest and then getting to my luxury, 5-star hotel suite. But
I was gonna say, if we had a Vision Pro, we'd be at the Vision Pro pawn shop
right?
and turning that into merch money. Who's got the time to video game like that?
Rich people.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be why most of the activities that you can do on this thing, you can only do solo. Like, there's no multiplayer function on this thing. It's like you're alone in this universe. There's nothing but
That's terrifying.
you and your iPhone.
That's terrifying.
You can smell it.
That's scary.
You guys want to smell yourself
No.
on in the metaverse? Stinks.
I smell all right.
All right, then this ain't the metaverse. Once you've been in the metaverse for a while, right?
You're gonna be smelling microchips.
Right, you'll have to spray down your
electricity.
Right, spray down your little algorithms.
Freaking plastic burning.
Here's my thing with this. Like, people that how far are we going to go with, like, I love video games, first of all. From Pac-Man to GTA to all the games. I like video games. So, I'm not talking poorly about video games. In fact, look, ICG, it's game night. I play Halo after this. If anybody wants to come and play Halo, we play video games every Wednesday night after this podcast. About 40 minutes or so after this podcast. But I'm not talking shit about video games. I love all kinds of varieties of games, mobile games, PC games, Tyga, handhelds. I love them all. But me personally, I play video games because I know they're a game. Right. And the cool thing about all games, like Checkers or Monopoly or GoldenEye, is at the end of the game, whether I win or whether I lose, if I'm celebrating or fucking pouting, okay? I've always played games with good sportsmanship in mind. And I realize that is not the modern day attraction to video games. Let me clarify. When the game is over, whether I've won or whether I've lost, I take all the pieces and I arrange them back in the box. I close the box and I put the game up where the fuck it came from. At the end of the Halo night, at the end of the day, the Battle of the Bands, whatever game, basketball, whatever we're playing, once one guy gets knocked down and it's all said and done, per sportsmanship, you pack the game up and the game is over. So when people want a game because they want to date in the game and to live in the game and fuck in the game and have a job in the game and they want the game to be photorealistic, you can count me out.
Yeah.
Me. Call me old-fashioned. Call me traditional. I'll be boring. I'll be a boomer. I'll be all the names and I'll be all the insults. I'll be all the unattractive things you can come up with. But I'm not going to be trapped in that fucking game. Because I know when to put the pieces away. I know when to put it in the box. I know when I've won. And I know when I've lost. I know when somebody else has won. I know how to shake somebody's hand in defeat. I know how to look somebody else in the eye. I know how to bring my A game. I know what it's like to win. And I know what it's like to come up short. I don't want to play realistic video games. Because for me, playing video games, to even some degree jumping in my character on stage, it's a way for me to get away from the ugly and harsh reality of economy, of, the medical world, of, the environment, of the law, of all the stuff we don't really like, right? So when you work all day, or you've been working on something, or you're going through something in real life, I've always used video games as a way to kind of detach temporarily in a healthy way so I can recover from the harsh realities of everyday life. Even the squirrels have it. They don't get video games. So when video games start being photorealistic and you're attracted to shooting characters and avatars that look like real people, when you wake up in the morning and you're having real life arguments and emotional domestic social disputes inside multiplayer gaming, when you're dealing with real rumors and insults and social issues inside multiplayer gaming, I'm out. When I'm shooting people in the video game that look like my neighbors, I'm out. I don't think, and this is just my opinion, we're all different, we all have different brains, I don't think that everybody is capable and has the management and self-control and emotional stability to be inside a realistic environment where every day you have the ability to shoot people that look like your neighbors and friends and family. When that happens, I'm done playing video games. So, I'm not spending $3,000 to put something that mimics reality to replace reality. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
That's a big cost, man. I don't feel like the technology's there yet. We have an Oculus here. Me and Melissa do play the Oculus. It fucking hurts. Have you ever played one? You want to try it?
No, not really.
We have one. If you ever want to just like give it a whirl. Like we got roller coasters and all that shit. But I don't even like roller coasters. Do you like roller coasters in reality?
I do. I don't like the video versions of them though.
I was gonna say, I'd take a real life roller coaster over this shit any day. This shit make you sicker than a motherfucker.
Right? Well, see, when I play video games, it's, to escape reality, which is why I do a lot of modding and cheating, because I can't do that in real life, because I know when I'm in my video game world, it's make-believe. But when I do stuff in real life, like go on a roller coaster, I want to be there in the moment doing something real.
That wasn't real.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought, maybe I finally am losing my mind.
I might have hit it back here.
But yeah, no, so that, and, I don't know, I just never got into virtual reality.
Why do you guys game at home? And if you do play video games, why do you play? Do you play to meet people and develop, real life friendships and multiplayer game? Or do you do it to have some alone time? Like, PlayStation people are very different than Xbox people.
Oh.
Right. Because, like, in many cases, there's some really great story-driven games on PlayStation that really are geared toward people that aren't looking to play with 10 people in a lobby and scream and yell. And whereas, like, a lot of games on Xbox are, like, party-related, where it's, like, big groups of people and high energy and a lot of people talking, a lot of chaos, It's a different style. It's like mobile gamers. It's a different style of gamer.
It's also a different marketing thing.
You bet.
It sets them apart from PlayStation, because you can be like, oh, you can go on PlayStation and be by yourself, or you can be on Xbox and hang out with your friends and make new friends.
And they both offer games that do both too.
Right, I'm sure, but like, just going by your example, it's interesting that some video games do that.
Yeah, I have some news about that too. A lot of major Xbox titles are actually should be available on PlayStation for the first time ever.
What?
Yeah, so those of you that are gamers and know, Halo will not be one of them. I know that was the next question, but not yet. I think maybe at some point.
Oh.
I think you'll probably see like the older titles come out first over there. And
I don't
That's
have
cool.
PlayStation, so I'm not worried.
are you guys Xbox, PC, PlayStation, or mobile gamers? Put it in the chat.
Xbox and PC.
So, if you guys didn't know, water is discovered on asteroids, and it was discovered by a defunct NASA mission. In our solar system, apparently it's been confirmed, it teems with water. This is a wonderful breakthrough. Who gives a fuck? We have water here on planet Earth that we can't drink anymore. I don't give a fuck if they found water on Saturn when we're polluting the water here on Earth. If we're running out of water here, why are we looking for water in our solar system?
Because we as humans have become so full of ourselves that we found the need to go and destroy other planets. We're not content with just merely destroying this one.
Can we just fix the water here and get enough of that? Let's get water going, okay? Let's get back to water here, and then after we'll fucking fuck around.
No, that's not as fun. We're just gonna go out there and fuck around.
Fuck!
But I appreciate your thought and concern.
Right. Jesus.
But no.
Fucking A.
But the part of this that hasn't been discovered yet...
Why don't we cut down a rainforest and then go look for water at Jupiter? Nobody can even fucking hang out there.
Right. I was just getting to that point.
Oh, okay.
I
But we
was
can't
just
hang
getting
out in the
there.
rainforest because we got to cut down the rainforest to make a parking lot so we can hang out there.
I swear on the rings
This
of Saturn.
this is why I love scientists, because they talk about their same problems, William.
Yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of them.
I would.
He really...
If I could have him on this podcast, I wouldn't talk during any of it. I would write stuff down and be like this.
Because, like, I love space. I'm a space nerd, but even I am like, I still come back down to earth with it. And I'm like, we could be doing all of this right here. Like, there is all sorts
that's like people, like, no
of water
disrespect, but
here.
like, even when people, like, look for ghosts, like, look for your family members
Right.
that are living. Like, while you're looking for some ghost, there's, like, some kid in your family that needs a heart transplant.
And in
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And in regards to water, like, we're looking out for water in all these places, but, like, there's crevices here in Earth with pleasurable drinking water that we haven't
right.
discovered
And
yet.
while we're looking for aliens and poltergeists, which is fine, we'll get to that, we could go to, like, Philadelphia and get the zombies out of there.
Right.
Like, we got enough fentanyl and we got enough
Right.
drugs and
There's
pharmaceuticals and why are we looking for water?
Out there, when there's thousands of places of water here.
Like,
There's thousands of aliens yet to be discovered.
we've got all kinds of I was gonna say we've got species and creatures that we've never seen before.
Microorganisms that's never been named, but
Let's
they're
look
just
at
swimming
them.
in the
'Cause
ocean.
I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna find life right in Saturn, right? And then we're gonna look at it.
And that's it, because we
So
can't go there.
So why don't we just dig some shit up and look at it?
Right? There's so much to look at
Let's
here.
look at everything here first.
Because it's all out there, too. It's all here.
I'm never saying let's get rid of stuff. I never say
No.
let's get rid of the music industry. I never say let's get rid of space travel. Let's not get rid of the poltergeists. Let's keep the Romans. Let's do the Catholics. Let's keep it all except for the pedophiles. But let's keep everything but the pedophiles. And let's keep it up for conversation. For Christ, and the snitches. The snitches and the pedophiles got to go.
Nobody likes a narc.
Right. Come on, put a 1 in the chat.
Rapists.
But, right, they got to go. But we have time to go to Saturn if we worry about the water here. Like, if you don't drink water, you're never going to Saturn.
True that.
How about that?
And you're never going to breathe.
Right, if we don't... Right. One thing's for sure.
You cannot breathe.
Right, most people who've been around... I don't know how old everybody is. I'm usually one of the oldest in the chat.
I'm 22.
It's ridiculous. This guy's been 22 for years.
But, like, it's real, though. Like, there's water here. Like...
Right, and we... Right. Can you give me that bottle right there? It's on the mixer.
Proof that... Here's proof.
The shit that is in this bottle, you're born with it. It's inside of you. You're made of it.
About 70% of us is that.
Let's get it. How much is the Earth really of this?
Of water?
A lot. It's more water than land. But I think out of all the water, only 2% of it's drinkable.
Is there
Or
land
fresh.
under all water? Well, there has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You just don't hit the core somewhere. Right? Lava does come up through that, though.
What's interesting about the fact about the humans having 70% water, Earth is 71% water.
No kidding.
Yo, that's fucked up.
I love this.
Yo, that is so fucked up. I didn't know
Science
that.
is so cool. We are the Earth people. I don't know why we're going out here.
That is wild.
We're
You know what's
shit.
funny? Out of the 71% of water that's on Earth, none of the drinking water is near Flint, Michigan still.
You're gonna get me in this.
We're gonna go with it now.
But it's okay, because we discovered it on another planet.
Somehow we've taken a free life source and we've bottled it up in a poisonous container. And somehow, now to get this stuff out of here, we have to buy this piece of trash to go along with it.
Non-biodegradable, I might add.
Like, how come, if the free thing was free, how did they convince us to take the free thing and put it inside a piece of trash and then pay for it? And then hurt ourselves with the piece of trash.
Piece of trash that's made up of dead animals, by the way.
I just don't know. How'd you take this amazing thing and you've convinced the whole world, let's take this free thing that you're made of and your life depends on it. We're going to put it inside this container and we're going to charge you for this thing that is literally a birthright. Sounds like the music industry.
Well, it's so that somebody can make a lot of money.
That sounds like the live music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live music is a cultural resource. And it's been bottled up and put inside a poisonous container and sold back to us for hundreds of millions and trillions of fucking dollars while we pretend to find new artists on Saturn. All right, it was a long shot, but that was good.
There can't even be artists on Saturn. They'll suffocate and die.
That's the big venue I wish someday Sepsis plays at. I'll pay to play it. The Sphere.
Oh, that would be sick.
I'll play out back.
Now that's fucking cool.
Like, we should just drive to Vegas and say we're playing at the Sphere and we're just out in the parking lot. But fuck it.
Right?
You got the picture.
Yeah.
That's all they ever wanted.
We played it. It's like that time we played Walmart. Come on, how many bands have legitimately played Walmart?
Sepsis.
We played a fucking concert at Walmart.
Sepsis.
But have you ever played at a Denny's?
That's rad.
You played at Denny's?
I haven't, no.
Oh.
But
You know someone that's played at Denny's?
I've never shown you the picture.
We'll definitely.
Show me
Yeah.
after.
Oh, you're
You
gonna
know,
love it.
To be real with you, the fact that you haven't seen this image yet, based on your caliber of expertise, Miss Lexi the Screamer, I'll have you know, this kid's screaming all day. She's on her new song with Melissa Bathwater, and I got to listen to the screams today. I'm fucking shocked. I'm not even kidding. I'm shocked. I'm normally, we goof around a lot on our pages, but I'm being actually serious. Lexi has a hidden talent. And I don't think any of us really knew it until we heard her in a recording. Until she heard herself in a recording. Because when she heard herself in a recording, went back to go record it, it came out the way it really needed to come out. I think that was the missing piece that you needed as a screamer, was to finally hear yourself on a recording, to fully understand what your voice needed to do.
Yeah.
Dude, she killed this fucking part. Wait till you hear it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I was like, wow. I mean, I really was blown away. So, I think it's the next song we're coming out with, but it's crazy because this is how it's taken shape. It's also, we're hoping for it to be Hot Sauce's debut, doing a guitar solo on it. So Bathwater is a first of many. It's really cool because, like, it's like me and Melissa doing our, like, the regular sepsis thing, but then there's this whole new added element of Lexi doing her thing. She gets a big feature in it. I mean, it's not like Lexi screaming with someone, or like I'm screaming with her, or like, you know, her and Melissa sharing a part. There may be parts like that in the song, but what I'm directly referring to is the verse parts. There's a singing verse and a screaming verse, and both Melissa's part sounds amazing as always, but you're just not prepared for this screaming part from Lexi, and somebody heard it over the phone when I was on the phone the other night, and they go, "Wow, they go, Will, is that your new screams on Bathwater?" And I said, "No, that's Lexi," and they fucking died, bro. They were like, "What the
Damn.
fuck?"
Proud of you, girl.
Ah, thank you.
No, she really did good on it.
Thank you. Screaming's fun.
It's amazing to see somebody with a talent that maybe they didn't know that they had, and it just coming to life. Actually, like, you know, people talk shit about that. You know, something is a fantasy until it becomes real,
Yeah.
and then when it becomes real, there's like this realization of like, wow, man, it's, you know, this thought that was in my head is not just this meaningless, empty feeling I have. These feelings that I've had have always been real. And watching somebody realize that is dope. It's like the first time I ever seen Melissa hit a belt note. She's like, whoa, I did that. It's like, you could do that. Boy, that wind is crazy out there.
Yeah,
I know, right?
That is wild.
It feels good, though.
TikTok announces platform trend data integration with Adobe Express. The only thing I want to show you here is for all the people that said that they weren't going to TikTok. TikTok is going to TikTok you. See how that is? That's like the people who are not going to AI. Those were the same people that weren't going to cell phone, weren't going to social media, and they weren't going to internet.
And just look at them now.
There's so many tools on TikTok.
I'm just telling you.
I know, I'm one of them.
YouTube announces updates to Studio Mobile uploads, gift memberships, and product tagging. And I only say that to my friends that are fully YouTubers and people that are invested as musicians on YouTube. A lot of those people tend to be bands like us that are really focused on podcasts and music videos, and also my rapper friends. This is really good. YouTube has continually throughout the year made it better and better for artists as time has gone on. Sony generated $2.52 billion. I can barely say that. From recorded music and publishing in calendar Q4 of 2023, and it's up 14% year over year. But Spotify can't crack a profit. Just want to throw that out there.
Still.
All right, this is really a good one. Spotify integrates with Bands in Town listings as its Songkick partnership comes to an end after 13 years. So some of you know, do any of you know about Soundkick?
No.
Of course not. Nobody knows about this stuff. These are all musicians and nobody knows about it. Melissa doesn't even know what Soundkick is. I'm the only one that knows what Soundkick is. If properly set up, that's like when you go to our Spotify and you see our tour dates on our Spotify.
Oh,
Does that make sense now?
okay.
That's why when you go to Spotify, sometimes you're able to see our tour dates.
Gotcha. I thought that was just because of Bands in Town.
No, it should have been Bands in Town. And that's why I'm reporting this.
Gotcha.
when Spotify came out and when they first partnered with Soundkick, I was like, what are you, fucking dumb? Why wouldn't you rock with bands in town?
Right?
I don't know if it was possible at the time, but music streaming giant Spotify and live event discovery platform. Why do I like bands in town? Because they have always been a discovery platform, bro. They're a music discovery platform. Do you know how many fans that have discovered us off of bands in town? Because people that go to bands in town are looking to discover.
Mm-hmm.
People that go to Spotify are looking for Drake.
When people go to bands in town, they're looking for bands in their town.
Yeah, man.
They're using it for what it is
For what
intended
it is.
for.
It's such a...
And they never broke rank from that, which is why they're probably so trusted by many musicians, and including Sepsis.
Right.
And many other bands, too. I think practically every band.
And when you get on you can get on the phone with them.
Yeah.
You know, if there's an account issue or you need to talk to somebody or you need to get administrative to fix something on your account, they are great.
Mm.
We had all type of problems, back in the day with copyrights and trademarks and ownership. They really fixed a lot of stuff for us. They're really awesome.
Go follow us on bands in town.
For sure, go follow us on bands in town.
It also helps with show dates too. So if you have the bands in town,
their widgets. I mean, some bands they don't have websites and different stuff, but if you're a band like us and you do, those players and widgets and the tour widgets and stuff like that, when you go to sepsis.com/tours, I believe, tours, you can go there and there's an up-to-date option, for people to connect with us. I'm just so happy about this. And, I'm not a big fan of the DSPs. You guys already know that. I talk a lot of shit about it. But this, when it's good, it's good. This is proof that when something good happens, I'm willing to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I don't just report on stuff I don't like. The collaboration integrates bands in town event listings directly into Spotify, dude. Connecting artists with Spotify's 602 million active users that are probably fake. While they listen and provide them with new avenue to discover upcoming shows. Not like anyone's going to go to our Spotify at any time, but if they did, they'd be able to see our shows. It appears to have come to an end with Soundkick, with an artist noting on Spotify's community forum 6 days ago that Spotify was no longer able to add their tour dates to Spotify artists' pages via Soundkick, with the following message explaining, after 13 years, Spotify's partnership with Soundkick has come to a mutual end. Boy, am I glad. Bands in Town is on a mission to help artists get discovered and sell out shows. With Spotify on board, we are bringing artists and the fans closer to a world where every show counts and every fan matters. Ooh, I like this motherfucker. He's talking my language. God, if anybody wants to read this article, I'm going to put it right now in the Yellow Jackets chat. So if you are a fan and you are in our VIP social media club, the Yellow Jackets, it's free. Anybody can be there. I'm going to put that in there right now. I think this is just great. This, and I'm going to put, look, this is great, is what I'm going to say. There it is, guys. If you are on, I love being able to use this, especially for the musicians that follow us, because we will always post tools for you guys, man, to succeed. Let's succeed together. I'm really happy about that. Anyway. So Instagram is testing new limits on how many hashtags that a person can hashtag in a post.
They want to limit the hashtag?
They want to limit how many hashtags people can use.
Why?
So people will stop reading the trending hashtags and hashtag all the trending hashtags instead of hashtagging what something is supposed to be.
100 stars from Brandon.
Meaning if you don't, thank you so much, Brandon.
Thank you.
Meaning if you don't, there's people that'll say hashtag radio station, and they're not affiliated with a radio station. They're not at a radio station. They don't have their broadcasting license. People will read in the morning. They'll read the trending hashtags. Taylor Swift, TikTok official. They'll read that, and then they'll go take a picture of their sub sandwich at lunch break, and they'll put hashtag Taylor Swift, TikTok official, and then 16 other trending hashtags, therefore fucking up the way people search for things with hashtags. It's really making you choose. You know, if you're a ballerina, do you want to put up hashtag ballerina, hashtag dancer, hashtag, you know, mustard and ketchup? They're trying to get people to stop hashtagging literally everything.
Stop abusing the hashtag.
Like, people who aren't religious that hashtag Christmas.
Heathens.
It's not going to be illegal. It's just it's just saying it's not a punishment. It's saying
No, I was talking about the people who hashtag Christmas when they ain't Christian.
Oh.
Heathens.
Oh. They have another thing to worry about.
Yeah, God's smiting their ass.
Hashtag smite. So that's what they're doing. So let's talk about it. According to various reports, Instagram is now pissed. Limiting... No, they're mad, and they are limiting the number of hashtags that some users can add to their post, with 5 being the maximum number of tags that you can include.
Huh.
As you can see in this example, which you can't see, some users are getting a limit pop-up as they add hashtags inside the IG Composer, which then restricts them from adding more within the post caption. This makes a lot more sense given that Meta has also put the limits on the number of tags that you can add to a person on Threads. In that case, the idea is that by limiting tags to just one person, that'll reduce the capacity for spammers to target trending posts by adding as many popular tags as they can in hopes of getting their updates into many search streams as possible, even though they've been told over and over again that it doesn't fucking work. People have been told it doesn't work. Stop doing it. But you know how consumers are. They're like, no, it's a trick. If we just do this and we stay consistent.
Yeah.
You just stick with what's trending.
Right. We're so hyper trained on following what's popular and what's trending that that's all we can pay attention to.
So linear.
The same could be extended for places where they target popular tags, and you could also add more tags to the first comment. They're actually letting like other people put hashtags on your shit. Like they're allowing like your friends to like co-sign hashtags, which it's like elaborate, man. I don't know. It's just the same thing to do. Like on Instagram, they're allowing you to share stories now too. Like you can like
reposting.
No, you can share the story. You can alter the story. You can create in the story. You can move the story. The story can evolve.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty elaborate story.
Speaking of social media, I just wanted 7 proven content engagement strategies. Lex is tired of hearing about it.
No, let's hear about it.
Tell a compelling story. I'm always telling that to people. Whether it's sitting around a campfire or wallowing in a breakup song, which most of you are doing, humans love a good story. Marketing messages with a strong story behind them have an astronomically better result, especially return of investment. Case studies have repeatedly shown that story-based messaging to increase conversations up to 400% and elevate your stock value in your company, sometimes to 750, as well as boosting your traffic and driving consumer engagement. Your customers will listen if you show what's important to them. Clear, short stories and just keep it simple. And use emotion and great pictures. Make it easy to engage. Keep people exclusive. Challenge the status quo. We were talking about that earlier.
We were.
You know, something that looks like everybody's doing. You know, if you stick out a little bit, focus on that and see what makes that cool. If your voice is a little different than everybody else, try not to EQ that out. You know, maybe you have a strange way that you pick the bass. Or maybe you have something different that nobody's seen before. Don't close the fucking door. Keep your mind open to it and challenge the status quo. Something that you thought you might have learned in music may not be accurate. All the things that you think you know about everything, all the things that we all think we know about the world might not be accurate. So challenge it, including this podcast. Create engagement on multiple channels. Don't just get stuck on Instagram or Facebook. You know, every now and then break away. Go to X. Go to, YouTube and try something new. Don't be afraid to add some variety to your reels. If you play guitar every day, try reading something or writing a poem. Or maybe play the guitar and then do like a poem in the back with voiceover. Look at that. I'm already giving you ideas. Like some spoken word or something, and then play, instead of playing your guitar in front of the camera, why don't you record the audio, and then this time you read out loud or do something different. Just ideas. Walk with your phone and do a voiceover. I know that's sometimes cool too. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, you put the music up, and then you could take your cell phone and then take pictures or walk and take video of things that you do like a garden or a waterfall or something that inspires you visually, and then do a song or a spoken word or a poem over that. You can hire me. Add interactive elements to your videos. Ask questions. Write polls. Make contests. Measure your engagement. Those are the things that I have for you guys. I hope it helps. Did you guys happen to see the nominees for the Rock Hall of Fame? Everyone's pissed.
I did.
Oh?
Everyone's always mad about it.
I'm not mad. I just have a question.
I'm going to read some.
Wait a second.
Mary J. Blige. Put a 1 in the chat if you think they belong in the Rock Hall of Fame. Put a 2 in the chat if you think they don't. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think Mary J. Blige
Got a 1.
should be in the Rock Hall of Fame. I'm not going to tell you what I'm putting.
Got a 2.
Put a 1 if Mariah Carey should be in the Rock Hall of Fame. Put a 1. Put a 1 if you think Cher should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't want y'all to look at my shit. I don't want none of you motherfuckers to look at my shit.
Seems like an even mix.
I'd give Cher a 1.
No, hold on. You want a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Ha ha! Do you want a piece of paper? I'm getting tired. We're not doing this. You guys ain't playing this with me. All right. Mary J. Blige, put a 1. If she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, my pen is.
We could talk. Oh man, hold on. We'll get you right. What? Just use your phone.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'll just use my phone. I'll do it.
Slamming my stuff around.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Mariah Carey. 1, she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 2, fuck her. Like Tommy Mottola. That's a funny joke for those of you who don't know that joke. If you know that joke, put a 3 in the comment. That's so funny. Well, that's a reel, dude. We're making that a reel.
Make sure you tag them. I'm
gonna tag her. Should probably call the police. Okay, now that we've gotten there.
Okay.
And then later on I'm gonna have a talk about this.
Okay.
Dave Matthews Band. Should they be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Dave Matthews Band. Put a 1 in the fucking chat for Dave fucking Matthews. If you want him in the band, if you want him to stay in the band, and you want him to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fames, put a 1. If you don't want good old Dave being in the hall,
1, 2, 1.
if you don't want Dave in the fucking hall, put a 2 and stop playing around.
It sounds like you're trying to persuade them to
I'm
put
not.
2.
No, you put a 1 then. If you want Dave in, surgically insert it.
Surgically? Oh my god.
All right.
Okay.
2.
If you want Eric B. and Rakim to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, put a 1. If you don't want him in there, you better put a 2. If you don't want him in. No, if you do, then you do. But if you don't,
Said, wow, that got serious.
if you want Eric B. and Rakim in the fucking hall, all right, then you're going to put a 1. If you don't, then put a 2. And then we're going to move on to Foreigner.
Uh-huh.
All right? 1, they're in the hall. 2, they're going to get out of the hall. Can everybody of these people, like, is that the way it works? Like, does some of them get in and some of them don't?
These are nominees, so I think some of them get in and some of them don't.
But is it like Nima? Like you?
Well, no, I think it's if you get nominated, then like the committee can say yes or no.
To everyone?
In theory,
Okay.
yeah. It's not like there's only one slot available.
Okay, all right. That's what I mean. Like, is there like top 3? Like, I don't know how to work. I don't understand all this shit.
I'm looking that up right now.
Please, that would be great. I would love to
Thank
figure
you.
that out. Okay, guys, put a 1 for Pete. Our buddy Pete. Peter Frampton. Put a 1 if you want Pete to play guitar in the hall. If you want Pete to play guitar in the parking lot, then put a 2. Peter Frampton, is he in the hall or is he out in the cold? Jane's addiction. Are we addicted to Jane so much where she's in the fucking hall? I mean, for real. Or are we addicted to Jane and we're looking to get sober?
Oh, so it must be Mary Jane's addiction.
Ooh, I never thought of that. That's wild. All right. Cool in the Gang is the gang cool enough to be in the hall? Are they now the gang in the hall? Or are they the uncool gang outside of the hall? That's
in
the
the parking lot,
right.
getting down on it.
Right. They're going to be outside in the vestibule playing the Magic Hat stage. Huh?
2.
Lenny the Kravitz. Is Lenny in his $300 boots? Are they going to be in the fucking hall? Or American Woman. She's outside in the parking lot.
1.
Oasis. 1 or 2.
Is that the band that has Wonderwall?
Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor.
Lenny Too Young and Riding Mom's Coattail 2.
Sinead O'Connor.
2 and 2 for Oasis.
Ooh, we're going to talk about this. Ozzy Osbourne. Let's hear it. I don't. What is now? Listen.
2 and 2.
The question is, Mama, is he coming the fuck home to the hall? 'Cause Mama, I'm playing out in the parking lot with Zach Wilde.
1 and lots of ones.
And he took the crazy train to get there.
1.
He's the only person that you can imagine has taken the crazy train as long as he's been on that train.
British dudes don't die. They're indestructible.
Instead, they
Sade. 2 or 1. And last but not least, A Tribe Called Quest.
So, here's what I found.
Okay.
This time Google didn't
This
fail
is
me.
fucking crazy. We're going to go over
It
it.
didn't fail you?
Not this time.
Success.
I was actually able to get the answer to what I was looking for.
Great, proceed!
Nomination and induction into the Hall of Fame is not about popularity, record sales, which label the group is on, or anything other than the process below. The love for, the evaluation of, and the impact of any artist are subjective questions to be answered by the nominators and the voters. Unlike baseball, football, basketball, or hockey statistics are not relevant. Please read below. The entire nomination and induction process is coordinated by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation in New York City. Individuals can be inducted in 4 categories: performer, early influence, non-performer, and sideman. The only formal criteria for the performance category is that an artist has to have had their first record 25 years ago. That said, candidates are reviewed and discussed relative to their impact on this music that we broadly call rock and roll. The innovation and influence of these artists is also critical. Gold records, #1 hits, and million sellers are really not appropriate standards for evaluation.
That clears up a lot, though.
So
I think most people. I think once again, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, I think most people are geared and trained and groomed to argue about economy, Zach. So I think when you talk about voting, even in terms of sepsis, bro, look at the award right behind you. Like, even in terms of that, like, a lot of that is based on, like, popularity, and a lot of it is based on naturally the committee, but a vote. But what are they voting on, if not, record sales? I mean, like I'm saying, like in Nemo, they can't count your record sales.
Right.
So they have to look at all these other things, including the vote, is what I'm saying. It's just interesting to me because most people, when we think of like choosing something, or we go, is something good, we always make the argument that Drake and Adele sell more records, and that's what makes them good. Because we've been kind of all trained to talk like that and advertise like that.
Base someone's value off of statistics.
Right, and we do it now. We do it now.
Numbers.
You know what I mean? We do it now on Spotify. We do it now. Oh, you ain't got you. I mean, you should hear how many times when people want to insult us or try to make us look bad, the one thing that they love to point out is that we don't get a lot of plays, or that we don't have a lot of
Numbers?
Yeah, I guess that we don't have a lot of numbers that big professionals will have, and I mean, the short answer to that is because we won't cheat.
Right.
Anyway,
I guess a good point on all this is, like, for example, the Ramones are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it's not like they went around touring stadiums and sold trillions of records. However, to say that because they're a group that definitely had an impact on rock and roll culture.
right?
Right. In their case, it wasn't a popularity thing. It wasn't like, they were the, biggest band in the world.
It seems to me like the Hall of Fame isn't about being popular or the best or
Right.
being rich
It's about having made an impact in rock and roll.
in culture.
Right.
Wow.
That's a bigger
Not
scope of
really,
things.
not just economy or
Right.
just
Right.
popularity.
What did you do to the community? Or, like, to the... That's awesome.
Here is here's my list and my short, what I came up with.
Okay.
Mary J. Blige. I said yes. And I said yes because she is the queen of R&B. And rhythm and blues, arguably, is the same kind of music and originates in the same place as rock and roll. In terms of early country and gospel, and by the way of commercializing blues music through Little Richard and Elvis Presley, for instance. And Elvis Presley is a very good example. Rhythm and blues, and the title Rhythm and Blues was separated from rock and roll early on to hide its cultural origins. But really, all of these people were making the same kind of music. So, in terms of modern music, like modern R&B and hip-hop music, you can't have hip-hop or rap music without rock and roll. It simply just does not exist because of the instruments and the technology that's used to make the music. So I think that her contribution is valid. I took a turn on Mariah Carey because my early experience with Mariah Carey, she was a pop star. That's why I made the Tommy Mottola remark. And pop music is rock music too. I just, when I think of Mariah Carey, and none of these answers are right. This is all my opinion, by the way. None of this matters. This isn't like my cultural views or whatever. For those that don't know, Mariah Carey is also, like me, she is a biracial, multiracial person. For those of you who didn't know that. I said yes to Cher. Cher's always had a rock band behind her.
Yep. That's why I said yes.
Okay, I was going to say, like, again, and I was going to say the same thing for Mary J. A lot of times she's had bands behind her and guitar players, and none of these R&B or blues instrumentalists were shy of using distortion or using rock and roll progressions. Dave Matthews, I wish I knew more about Dave Matthews, and I'm going to go off on a limb here. I picked them because that's my mother's favorite band. You know what I mean? And she's no longer with us, so she would want me to pick them. So I don't, and I've heard them a lot in my mom's car, and I've been blown away.
I was gonna say I would classify them as rock. So
Okay, that's fair.
you know, so
We talked about impact too. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
like, I tell you what, you explaining has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did what we did.
right.
Eric B and Rakim. Again, I'm gonna induct them also, because of when I think of rap music and anything early rap music. To me, I was born in 1980, and I made rap music, and it's filled with rock elements, especially that specific, and the contribution to hip hop. Hip hop was supposed to be a fad. It was never supposed to be really a genre. And if you ask most people who criticize rap and hip hop in the beginning, in its origins, was the rock community. And in the rock community, rap music was a fad. And for rap music to survive the way that it has, I think rap and rock music both had to depend on each other to survive. I don't think you'd have modern day metal and modern day rock as we love and know it today if it wasn't for artists like Eric B and Rakim. And respectively, I don't think you'd have rap music at all if you didn't have Run DMC and Aerosmith in those situations. So that's my reasoning behind that. I think the survival of rock and roll and metal in 1990, especially Melissa's age, when bands like Slipknot and Kitty's coming out with a new album. Bands like Slipknot, bands like Kitty, System of a Down, Korn. Without hip hop and rap music, you never would have had Linkin Park and Disturbed, and
No, definitely.
so. I don't know enough about. I don't know enough about Foreigner, so I put a question mark because I don't know enough about Foreigner.
I'm trying to think, what was their big?
I don't
hit?
know enough about them, you know.
Because I'm like I've definitely played them on guitar.
So I didn't put
so-
anything because it's like if you don't know about Eric B and Rakim, right? You're gonna be like, oh, I don't think that they deserve to be in there. Well, it's because you don't know them. Like if you don't know Sepsis, you're gonna be like, they don't deserve to win shit. It's not that they don't deserve to win anything; it's you don't know who they are.
Yeah, so for a lot of them, like me personally, I put a question mark because I don't know who they are.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know if they're rock and roll. I don't know if they're.
Foreigner is one of the world's best-selling bands of all time, with worldwide record sales of more than 80 million records.
I know.
They're a British-American rock band.
And they are wildly huge, and I just don't know enough about them, except for...
Oh, that's what it was. Feels like the first time. I was like, I know one of their songs.
That's it. We all
Yeah.
know, but that's it, though.
And Cold as Ice.
That's a great song.
Hot Blooded, which is currently the theme song for Tacoma FD, a show I like.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like, those are all ripping tunes,
I was
dude.
like, I couldn't quite place, it was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, I know some of this, I know I've listened to them, so I knew they deserved to be there, but now having seen the songs that they put out, it's like, oh, okay, yes, there it is. But,
50 stars from Chris Frog.
Wow, thank you, man.
hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Peter Frampton, I said, yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He was a part of a band, too, right? Like, before he went solo?
Yes.
Okay. You don't happen to know the name of that band.
Let's look it up. That's what this podcast is for. Jane's Addiction was another one. I just didn't know enough about it.
I put a 1.
I don't know a damn thing about Jane's Addiction.
Oh, he's in Humble Pie. Jane's Addiction. What song? I used to play one of their songs when I was in a cover band. Jane Says. That was the name.
Did you look up your playlist? Smart.
20 more stars from Chris.
Chris, what's going on?
Thank you.
But I gave them a 1 because I knew they were a rock band. So I was like, they're rock and roll.
I did it again. I didn't know enough about Kool and the Gang.
Get down on it.
I know the popular stuff, but I don't.
But they're, well, see, to me, because I feel like they're like a disco group that's still kind of,
Oh yeah, that's a really that's a turn.
They all played instruments and all,
Yeah.
So I would give it to them.
I said no for Kravitz. I'm a Kravitz fan. I wasn't a Lenny Kravitz fan for years and years and years. And I know you're saying, what the fuck, man? You look like this guy. No, but what I'm saying is I think he's a great artist. I think he's a top-notch dude. I just think it's not yet.
I gave him a 1 because...
Hope he never sees this. He's going to be like, fuck that guy. Right? Seriously.
See, I gave him a 1, but that's because I have a biased opinion. The first porn video I ever saw and spanked it to was, the girl was... That, like, one of his songs was in the background, so now every time I hear that funny song, my balls just get so wet.
I would feel that look at Melissa.
I'm glad someone picked up on that.
I will say this: I'm definitely a fan of Lenny lifestyle. You got to go watch his Instagram. Is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like him and just girls. It's like Lenny and a truck of girls everywhere. He should be inducted into the Pussy Hall of Fame. Because that's where he plays. I've got to get away.
He also, I think he did a Super Bowl performance with Katy Perry.
That wouldn't surprise me. He knocks it out the park. This dude, if you go look at his Instagram right now, he's having a party over there. He's having a party, and he's always so mellow. He's he's so clear-headed and sober. He knows why he got into rock and roll.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, dude, you weren't kidding.
I'm telling you, this guy's pants. You know what I mean? Like,
he's a better dresser than I am.
I'm trying to tell you something. Look at this guy. He's serious about
Oprah.
He's serious about his rock and roll. It's Lenny, man.
Damn.
No,
1,000 stars from Geo.
Hell yeah.
Geo!
He's like, you guys will get to Wisconsin.
Oh, he's hanging out with Dave Chappelle. Oh, lucky bastard.
Yes.
Nice flam.
What does that happen when somebody gives us a lot? That they get the jam? Do we need new breakdowns?
That was a nice flam.
We could use some new sound alerts and things.
More flam.
We'll have Hot Sauce do some this Saturday.
Hell
Flam.
yeah.
Woo woo woos!
Flam. Flam.
No, but we could do like a signature djembe. Like when you say funny stuff, your little djembe thing goes off.
What? You put the djembe in there?
Sure.
You record the...
Well, we could.
Really? That'd
Yeah.
be
No,
so
he's
much
lying.
fun. That would be
No, just kidding.
so much fun.
We have all this recording equipment, yet can't do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use it.
That's where we draw the line.
Right, no rapping.
Well, that's very traumatic.
All right, guys. Honestly, that's like You guys want to get one more in there? What do we got? What do you got? You got a Valentine one for us? Or do you want to do
A
one?
Valentine?
Flip a coin. What do you got, Lex?
What do I got?
Yeah, what do you got, Lex?
What do you got, Lex?
Will knows I hate reading, so.
Right. Okay.
Don't you got some?
I have a couple of things. We could do the AI.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll do that one.
Everybody loves artificial intelligence.
So, as we all know, AI has been taking over the interwebs. Well, AI is also taking over your dating app bios.
Yeah, it's going to take over your vagina.
Well, it could because this
my
AI. This AI bot is made specifically for like writing things for people because no one's creative anymore.
What do you mean, like Valentine's love notes?
Not just Valentine love notes, I mean actual just like talking to a woman or a man. Having an interesting bio.
You mean AI is going to write down like...
What you say to the person. So let's say you're into somebody and you don't know how to talk to them. You type in the AI on Tinder and they'll give it to them in the cadence that you want, in the mood that
What
you
happens
want.
when you eventually meet this person in reality and then all of a sudden you have to spit this poetry out?
Well, when
You download ChatGPT and just text under the table.
That's a quiet dinner.
Or what,
Bloom, bloom,
or
bloom.
what happens is once the person starts wanting to see the person, they start ghosting them and breadcrumbing them.
Let me see your balls. send me a pic of your balls.
Ghosted.
Right. Why isn't he talking to me? I don't know, Suzanne. What was the last thing you asked him? I asked him to see a picture of his balls.
See, real men don't send dick pics. Real men get out there and disappoint women in person.
So, listen, don't give these guys any good ideas.
Fair enough.
Right, put your balls on the table. Listen, I like the way guys do it now. They send their dick pics and they send their balls and all of that, and then they get rejected. That's the way it should be. Because it saves you all the gas money and cologne. That's why guys really send dick pics, because they're like, look, here it is. If you hate it, hang up the phone.
Save money on a date.
Right. Like, girls would be mad and be like, oh, I don't know why guys send me dick pics. They're giving you the option to back out.
Right?
Think about if you never knew what you were getting. You'd only complain.
Right.
Like, man,
They're
you had
being
such a
real.
great personality and such a very small car.
Keep your small cars away from me.
Right, we're trying to go on a long drive over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, we're thinking long distance.
Not short.
Right. A lot of people want to, they're trying to have longevity.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like guys aren't super creative when females when they take nudes, they put some effort into it,
Rose petals and
But
cupcakes.
every
You have to
dude
edit
has
the
the same
picture.
pose, which is usually like.
Like, you're dying.
Although in my case, it's more like.
Half passed out with the soda cup.
So us girls, we had to take the picture, to suck it in. You have to edit it. You have to do all sorts
Yeah,
of
but
stuff.
isn't that catfishing? Isn't that what they call that?
No.
I'm too old for dating on
Well,
the
he's
internet.
talking about the effort of women. I'm telling you, this is the effort that women put into those pictures.
Last time I was on a date, seriously, when I was dating, your phone didn't stay charged for more than 20 minutes. That's the last time I was on a date. Like your cell phone, I think it was T9 texting was out. Like, in order for you to text somebody, you had to be able to read 200 words a minute. You needed some real skill back then to get a conversation going.
Yeah, that's why I was just about to say, people are getting less creative. Like,
Okay,
they
maybe you
need
guys are right.
all of the, where they think that they need, or they're lazy, let alone being less creative. They're just simply lazy.
If you're lazy to talk to somebody that you're interested, then what are you going to do when you pull your fucking pants down?
Well, here's a better one. If you're too lazy to talk to someone, like a regular human being that you are interested in, you're not interested in that person. At all. You're interested in the idea of them that you have in your head.
Well, when in the future, do you think like people will get in arguments with their biological physical partners and then go cheat on them with their digital,
Yeah.
more friendly or customized partners?
Yeah, they're doing it now.
Like you'll have like a man or a woman for like naked time, and then you have like a robot to deal with you during the day.
Right. Yeah, they're doing it now.
Like maybe in like
Vice versa.
you might mix the two.
Right.
You have digital Jen, and then you have
Real
analog
life.
Jen.
Real life Jen. Yep, they're doing it now as we speak. Yes. That's already happening.
It's
If
like,
it
you know
hasn't
what?
already.
Right, and when Jen
Might make
doesn't...
an interesting throughway, though.
If you want to have all of them in the room together
Like
and
Siri?
explain it to
That's like-
fucking
That's
your
like-
real life Jen.
Right, it's like cheating on Cortana with Siri.
Exactly. They're not going to be happy with you.
Oh, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. You better get your hands off my man.
No, I thought he was mine.
Malfunction.
And now Dave is like over
Alexa,
here
face
running.
down, ass up.
That goes against my community standards.
And then Siri goes, not up against mine.
Right, right. I go both ways. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what to say anymore about this. I guess we'll have to do some updates about this in the future. If this podcast lasts until next Valentine's Day, we'll definitely have some updates. Until then, everybody plug in your pocket pussies. See you next week.
See you next week.